everyone, and welcome to our first live stream in over a year. Can you believe it? It has been so long. This is the first episode for our very new podcast. It is Heroes and Healers. So for this podcast, we will be talking to heroes, also known as veterans, military, first responders, anybody that has served or is currently serving, be it their home community or their country. We're also going to talk to healers. So healers could be people like myself who do energy work. It could be acupuncturists. It could be maybe spiritual leaders of some sort. Who knows? That door is open to just about anything. I am super excited for this new venture. So this is going to be interview style podcast. However, today it's just me. So I'm interviewing myself. Yes, I know that's weird. I should have somebody else asking me questions, but that's just the way it is. So if you are here and you are watching, drop a hi, say, where you're watching from. In the meantime, let's get this party started. All right. Healer or hero? I am both. Yes, both. So I served in the United States Air Force for just over 2 years as security forces. So I have experience in law enforcement. I also have volunteered at my local fire department, and I was an EMT for a while with them as well. And I worked 911 dispatch for 6 years. So I hit kind of all the bases there. As far as the healer part, I've been a healer for about 8 years in several different types of energy healing. So primarily sound healing, Reiki, and crystal healing. Those are my 3 go-tos. So my favorite part of what I do is watching the transformation that happens when somebody goes through their healing. You can see where they start. You can see the progress in between. And to be perfectly honest, we are never completely healed. But to watch that journey is beautiful. And I absolutely love it. So, do I remember the event that had the biggest effect on my mental health? Or was it a combination of events? Tell my story. So some of you guys know bits and pieces of my story. For me, it's a combination of events that led up to my own personal mental health struggles. Feelings of inadequacy from childhood to oddly fitting in the military and it being actually kind of easy for me. That right there was unnerving in the beginning, if you can imagine. A lot of people struggle to fit in at first. They struggle to learn how to do the things that we're asked to do. But for whatever reason, it wasn't really a struggle. And I have a lot to thank to my parents for the way they raised me for that. And it kind of prepared me. But it also changes the way you think and the way your brain works. But also I was raised in a household that already had people that were in the military that have served their communities. My mother was a nurse when I was growing up. So we kind of already had that mentality in our family. My very first marriage was abusive. It was when I was in the service. In fact, we were high school sweethearts. We didn't want to get divorced, or we didn't want to break up, so we got married, which was a very bad idea. Don't ever do that, you guys. Just don't. Don't suggest it whatsoever. So there was a lot of mental battle there. My husband at the time was not physically abusive. He was psychologically and emotionally abusive. So that took a big toll on me, and I didn't even realize it until many years later. And then, I got released from military service after a car accident, and anybody that's been there knows the transition between military and civilian life is actually quite a bumpy one, and you kind of feel lost, and you don't know what to do with yourself anymore, because everything's been taken away from you. Everything that you know, the way you were making your living, everything you've been taught is gone. And now you have to figure out everything else. You have to figure out how to support yourself. You have to figure out a place to live. You have to figure out how to, survive in society that doesn't understand how your brain works. And they don't understand your sense of humor. And most of the time, they don't understand you at all, because we're very regiment, and we like things to have order. Even if on the outside it may look like that, because some of us are very messy people. I know some very messy OCD people. And all of us do have a little touch of OCD and maybe some ADD, but, that's neither here nor there. So, the transition between military and civilian was very difficult for me, and I didn't have anybody that understood. Yes, I was still married to my abusive husband at the time, but again, he was abusive. He didn't care, and he was a civilian. He just basically wanted me to get over everything and, do everything to his every whim. So, eventually, I left him, thankfully, with the help of now my husband, but was a friend at the time. And he helped me realize that what my now ex-husband was doing was psychological abuse. And he's like, why are you putting up with this? And knowing, the type of person that I was, I didn't understand how I could put up with it, how I couldn't see it before. And when it was finally brought to my attention, I did start questioning things, and I did start wondering, okay, what the heck's going on here? That's when my ex-husband turned physically abusive. He only hit me once. That was it. And I was gone. Fast forward to, several years later, divorced, remarried, and have my first child. Postpartum was a little rough for me, but not so bad as more years later with my youngest. My last two babies, the postpartum depression really hit, and I was feeling very resentful and kind of lost, and nobody could understand. Nobody could understand what was going through my head. For one, it was hormones, and two, my brain doesn't work like most people. My sense of humor is not necessarily the same as others. And I know a lot of my military friends will get that. Our sense of humor is kind of off, may seem kind of rude and dark and very disturbing at times. And it's a coping mechanism. We see a lot of shit in a daily basis, and that's just how we get through it. You have to make light of the situation. Otherwise, you'll be in depressed mode all the time, and you'll just end up crying. Male or female, it doesn't matter. Okay, enough with the heavy on there. So my youngest, when I was in that postpartum depression, I had a friend and mentor that suggested I learn Reiki and start getting into energy healing and have energy healing done to me to help pull me out of my funk, to physically change the energy I was in. Now, energy healing does not necessarily change or heal the fact that you're in a depression, but when you change the energy you're in, you are able and your body is able to change your situation and make it easier for you to handle. And that's really what energy healing is best at for mental health. If you change the way you're thinking, you can change the way you deal with the things that are affecting your mental health. And so I started getting into energy healing and I noticed a difference. Sure, the hormones were subsiding, but my mindset was changing. I didn't want to unalive myself anymore because I was in a very, very dark place. And most people don't even know I was in that place because I did not let them know. I would have been one of those people that just did it and nobody would have even known anything was wrong. So I'm glad I had that mentor. She has since passed, and I miss her very much. And it's been 7 years. I think it's been 7 years since she passed. It's been a while. And that's kind of how I found energy healing to begin with. Since then, I have become a Reiki master. I have become a crystal Reiki master. I am also an advanced certified crystal practitioner through the Hibiscus Moon Academy, which she has now retired. So thankfully, I was able to get in before they closed the school and retired. I will never, ever, ever regret taking that class. It has been amazing. And I am also a certified sound healer. So if you guys have never seen sound healing, it's the big singing bowls. We also have like tuning forks and pretty much anything else. Honestly, sound healing can be you putting on headphones and listening to your favorite music. It doesn't have to be anything fancy with the singing bowls or anything like that. But that is one thing that I personally use. So, energy healing. How has energy healing helped my mental health? It's completely changed the way I look on the world. Sure, there's still dark times. I still go into bouts of depression, but it's easier for me to come out of them now. I don't feel on the edge anymore. I'm able now to share my experiences with others and to teach them how to start that process, because each of our journeys are different, right? We're all going to go through different things. We're going to experience different things. And sometimes our road leads us to different paths. There are many different types of energy healing. You could consider chiropractic and acupuncture as energy healing. It's all about moving the energy. And sometimes that, you need that pinprick in that certain nerve area and it just helps shift that energy. Same thing with chiropractic. They physically shift the body, which energetically shifts the body as well. So lots of different modalities out there that are helpful to people. And I've actually taken part of many myself. I get regular massages. I have chiropractic. I upkeep about once a quarter. But that's also because I have physical injuries from when I was in the service. That if I didn't do that, my physical body would not be able to do the things that it can do today. So, but I can say with 100% certainty that if I had not started getting into energy healing, I would not be here today. My family would be without their mother and their wife and their sister and their daughter. I would not be here if I had not found energy healing. And that's something that I'm hoping to share with other people, is to help them pull back from the brink. Sure, it's not going to get rid of the PTSD, but it may help you learn how to deal with your triggers easier, if that makes sense. What is the hardest thing you've ever had to overcome? The hardest thing I've ever had to overcome was the feeling of unworthiness that my ex-husband left in me. I didn't feel like I could do anything right. I didn't feel like I was worthy of anybody's love. I didn't feel like I felt insignificant. Like I didn't matter to anybody. And it was my current husband, it was him that started to pull me out of that. It took a toll on our relationship in the beginning because I was so insecure, and I got very jealous very easily because of that insecurity. But now, many years later, that has thankfully subsided. Not that it's completely gone away, but I can control myself better. So I don't have to hurt anybody that even looks at my husband the wrong way. Even a waitress that's coming to take his order. Yeah. Trust me, I was in a bad state when we got together. I don't even know why he decided to get with me, to be perfectly honest, but he did. And I am forever thankful. And he is the love of my life. And he'll probably never see this or hear the recording, but he is. I love him. As an energy healer, the hardest thing that I have helped somebody with thus far is, so a fellow veteran was having personal issues with her ex-husband, and I was helping her process those emotions. And while, yes, she still has issues with her ex-husband, they have a kid together, they're always going to have issues, right? She is better able to handle those now. And it's been nice seeing her be able to do that. And now she's even helping other people with things that they're going through. So I love you, Mel, if you see this. What advice would I give to others seeking these types of services? So there's a couple of things to know. Energy healing, if it is a energy only type modality, can be done from distance. So you need to connect with somebody to have the best results. If somebody gives you the heebie-jeebies, they're not going to be a help to you. If you don't feel comfortable around somebody, if it's a chiropractor or an acupuncturist, their care is not going to be as effective as somebody that you are comfortable with. So vet your people before going to have a service. If you have a service and you don't feel comfortable afterwards, find somebody different. You are not stuck with the same practitioner, whether it's a Reiki master, an acupuncturist, a massage therapist, anything like that. Vet your people just the same as you would any healthcare professional. Okay? That is probably the biggest thing. You need to have some sort of comfortability, maybe some sort of connection with this person, at least on a surface level. Okay. Hydrate. What advice would you give healers looking to serve heroes? So for my healers out there, if you are looking to serve those who serve, one thing you need to know is they are not going to divulge everything that is wrong with them. They're not going to. There is going to be mental things that stay hidden. They may come out over time, but you need to be patient and understanding, and don't push, because the more you push, the less they're going to do. You need to just guide them and allow them to have the healing that they are ready for. It may take baby steps, and it may be, a long time coming, but it will happen. Okay? Be patient. Give them strict instructions. We can follow strict instructions to the T. All right? We may wait until the very last minute to do it, but we can do it. How is my life different now? So, my life is honestly completely different. Before I started energy healing, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had, not that I didn't have friends, I had friends. I just didn't have the ability in myself to really engage and give of myself because I didn't feel like I had anything. So now that my mindset has changed, I am able to fill my own cup. I can now in turn help others fill theirs. So I personally have become part of communities to make sure that there is somebody in those communities that can help others that may be in spots exactly where I was. It's one of the main reasons I joined Irreverent Warriors. That, and I had no idea that I needed them at the time, but for my veterans and military people, if you have not looked up Irreverent Warriors, please do it. irreverentwarriors.com. They have been a gift. I didn't know I needed the friends and family that I've made, but I love every single minute of it. So much so that I would love to be at every single hike, but that's just not feasible in my life at this time. So, but I feel now that I am able to help those people get past the things that are holding them back, that are keeping them in a lower mental state. And it's time. It's time to share that with them. All right, it's time for quick fire. So, this is going to be difficult by myself. All right, ready? Coffee or tea? You guys should know this. Tea, automatically. Night or day? Nighttime. Favorite season? Ooh, late spring, early summer. That's my favorite season. Favorite hobby? I don't have one. Outdoors. We'll say outdoors. Books or movies? Books most of the time. City or country? Definitely country. 100%. Indoors or outside? Outside. I love to be outside. However, I don't like the cold anymore. I was stationed in Minot, North Dakota, and I have had my fill of cold for the rest of my lifetime. So, yes, I stay inside most of the time during the winter. And you guys, if you are here on the YouTube channel, you know you can contact me here. I'm also on you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, basically all the places at Soul Moons Rising, and we can connect there. If you guys have more questions, you can drop them in my DMs and I'd be happy to answer them either during another live stream or maybe in a video. So for those listening to the replay or listening on your favorite podcasting platform, know that these are live. I do record these live on YouTube. If you would like to ever be in a interview with me, or if you would like to watch these live, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to be interviewed, I will drop in the comments the application for the interview process. I love you guys. Have a spectacular rest of your day.